We want to solve triangle ABC if angle A is 40 degrees, angle C is 22.5 degrees, and side B is equal to 12. All right, so the first thing we want to do here is probably just draw out this triangle, right? We want to categorize this triangle so that we know which law to use, either the law of sines or the law of cosines. And depending on the given information, right, that will determine which law to use, right? So let's just go ahead and plug these guys in. I know this is 40 degrees. I know angle C is 22.5 degrees. And I know side B is 12 here. Right, so this here is what we call an ASA triangle, right? We have two angles and the side that is between them. Now you notice that as long as we know two angles, we actually know the third one as well, right? Okay, so when we have an ASA triangle or AAS or SAA triangle, right? Remember, it doesn't matter, right? As long as we have two angles and any side, we always use the law of sines, okay? So first thing we should do then is, well, I can get angle B here, right? We know the sum of the angles in a triangle is 180. So we'll take the 40 plus 22.5, subtract that from 180, we get 117.5 degrees. Okay, now we can set up the law of sines. Remember, the law of sines is the sine of A, in this case 40 degrees, divided by its opposite side, which we don't know, is equal to the sine of 117.5 divided by its opposite side, which in this case is 12. And that should equal the sine of 22.5 degrees, right, divided by its opposite side, which we don't know that either. So we're just going to put a C there. So we need to find the length of side A and the length of side C. In order to do so, we just set up a proportion. Okay, so we can use this proportion right here. Okay, and we notice that there are 4 parts to this fraction. We actually know 3 of the values, right? We're just going to find this guy. So let's cross multiply, right? That's the easiest way. So the A times sine of 117.5 is equal to 12 times the sine of 40. And mathematically here, we can just divide that out to isolate for A. So A is going to equal 12 times the sine of 40 degrees, and all of this divided by the sine of 117.5 degrees. Now when you use your calculators, right, remember, the instructions say round to the nearest tenth. But we don't want to, we call these intermediate steps. We don't want to round during any intermediate step. So in your calculators, right, you should just be able to punch this in. So 12 times the sine of 40, enter, divided by the sine of 117.5. Okay, and you do get some pretty long decimal value, but if we round that to the nearest tenth, we should get A is equal to 8.7. And similarly for B, or for C, for side C, right, we just use this proportion, right? And so we'll cross multiply this. So C times the sine of 117.5 degrees is equal to 12 times the sine of 22.5 degrees. And similarly, we'll divide that out. So C is going to equal 12 times the sine of 22.5, and all of that divided by the sine of 117.5 degrees. Okay. So similarly, don't round any intermediate steps. You just want to punch this in your calculators, right, without clearing it out or rounding to your nearest tenth each time. Right. So once you find this value, you should get 5.2 if you round that to the nearest tenth. Another couple reminders, make sure that you are in degree mode, or you don't want to be in radian mode here. Okay. And lastly, right, a lot of calculators are different. The way that you punch them in, the way that the answer is going to come out. Okay, so make sure whatever calculator you have that you get these answers right here.